live session on Black America Wealth Mission. I'm Pastor Tony Cash. Anybody excited to be here today? I'm excited to be here. And today we're going to cover this idea about Black America and the reason we need a wealth mission statement. I really want you to understand this, that Black America needs a wealth mission statement. We need a unified wealth mission statement for our people. The Bible tells us something about wealth. It speaks extensively about wealth. It speaks extensively about financial stewardship. And it does not condemn us having wealth. It just simply says, when you have it, don't love it more than you love God. So it's time for us as a people to think about a few things. Who are we in regards to our wealth? What are our honest beliefs and values about wealth? Where do we see ourselves as a people existing in the realm of wealth? What dollar amount do we want to own as a people? What influence do we want to have in the community and the world? And what other lives do we want to impact because Black America respects money? Wealth is a blessing, but not the ultimate goal. God blesses us with wealth, but it should never replace our dependence on God. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms His covenant, which He swore with your ancestors as of today." Proverbs 10:22 says, "The blessings of the Lord maketh one rich, but adds" what? "No sorrow." So wealth can be a gift from God, but it must be used wisely and with gratitude. So why does Black America need a wealth mission statement? Because there's a need for a unified, clear direction and purpose for Black America money. There is, okay, let me say that again. Why does Black America need a wealth mission statement? Because there is a need for a unified, clear direction and purpose for Black America money. Without a national financial vision or mission, it has become easy for our people to drift in society without making intentional money decisions. So we've got to think about this. Let's think, for example, if we had a mission statement that emphasized financial freedom. Perhaps our people would be more likely to avoid unnecessary debt and focus on investments. When you have a wealth mission statement, it encourages financial discipline and smart decision making. Black America has to understand that we must start now because wealth is not built overnight. It requires consistent, disciplined action. And if we had a mission statement, here's what it would do for us. It would keep us motivated through challenges. Black America understands that the path to wealth has not been easy, has not always been smooth. We've had economic downturns. We've had job losses. Some of us have had personal setbacks. And that can make you question your financial goals. But a strong mission statement, it reinforces our why as a people. Come on now. It keeps Black America motivated on the goal even during difficult times. It prevents Black America from making fear-based financial decisions. If we had a mission statement to create generational wealth, temporary setbacks won't discourage us and we would keep moving forward on our goal. We're going to use the wealth mission statement to promote intentional wealth building habits in our community. I believe that a wealth mission statement transforms your mind from a spending-focused mind to a wealth-focused mind by reinforcing Black America's values and beliefs. 1 Timothy 6:10 tells you and me, it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. It does not say money itself is evil. Matthew 6:24 says, no man can serve two masters. Either he will love the one and hate the other. Either you will be devoted to the one and despise the other, but you cannot serve both God and money, but you can serve God with your money. And it's easier to serve him when you have some money. Now, come on now. Now, I'm teaching today. I'm not preaching, but let's just talk about it. I know females have reminded me my whole life, you get cuter the more money you have. Now, all of a sudden, inches come upon thee. When I met you, you were 5'8", but see, this money done made you 6 feet, brother. Money itself is not evil, but loving it more than God leads to spiritual downfall. And I got to put that in there because, you know, those prognosticators on the internet would say all he's talking about the wisdom of money for our community. What is a wealth mission statement? It's a clear declaration of Black America financial purpose, values, and long-term vision. It will help guide our decisions, help us maintain focus, and align our financial behavior with our personal values and spiritual goals. Incorporating the spiritual guidance of God into the Black America financial mission is vital. 1 John 2:15 says to us, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All that is in the world, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life. And I'm here to tell you that the reason we need this mission, Black America need this financial mission statement is because our love life is wrong, it's evil, it's ungodly, and we've taken the financial gift that God has given us as a people and we put it into the flesh and the lust of the eye, and it did not please God, and so he did not bless us. The concept that Black America has to have now because of where we're at and how far behind we are is we must have a mindset that Black America is about to go on the offense in our finances. We're going to emphasize proactive and aggressive strategies to maximize our returns and grow our assets rather than just focus on saving and preserving money or assets. No, it's time for us to get aggressive so that we can catch up and be the great people God created us to be in America. Why is this approach so important for Black America? Because an offensive strategy or aggressive strategy focused on maximizing returns by taking a higher degree of risk. Black people need to understand we're never going to reach our goal. We're never going to reach the peak of who we can be in finances if all of us keep saying we don't want to take any risk. A defensive strategy says, I'm more worried about minimizing losses, preserving capital versus growing the capital. It says, I've lost faith in God's ability to bless me, to trust me, to give me ideas, to give me, y'all ain't come to hear me today, to give me visions. And so I'm going to be defensive and save this $600. And I came to tell you, no, take that $600, put it somewhere that's going to make you $800, because the $600 next week ain't going to be worth more than $550. Y'all know what inflation is doing to them 3 pennies you have in your account. Y'all know what it's doing to you. I cannot personally tell you what to invest in. But I can tell you that if we as a people don't change our approach to an offensive approach to wealth, we will continue to fail to keep up with other cultures. And we will never leave a generational financial legacy. So, okay, Black America, here we go. Right before your eyes, I'm getting ready to give you our new slogan and what we're going to say about leaving wealth. We're going to call it delayed gratification generational wealth. Delayed gratification generational wealth. Say it with me. Delayed gratification generational wealth. Y'all can give it whatever nickname, DG2W. When you talk about delayed gratification, it means that we as a people are going to start having the ability to resist immediate pleasures for the future of our children's children. That's going to be crucial for us building generational wealth in Black America. And how we're going to do this? By enabling a long-term financial planning and investment decisions. Everything is not going to have to happen next month and this year. We're going to say, I'm okay with seeing some returns 5, 10, 15 years later. Somebody quiet in here. So what's Mission Possible 1? Here's how we're going to do DG2W. Number 1, if you're writing, we're going to, as a people, accept that 50% of our wealth we personally will never access. As a people, we're going to get to a place where 50% of our wealth we personally will never access it. As a people, each individual is going to accept that it's our responsibility to keep our children's children from being poor. And number 3, we're going to accept the responsibility for bearing the financial cross to end poverty in Black America, one person at a time. Let me say that again. We're going to accept the responsibility for bearing the financial cross to end poverty in Black America, one person at a time. You know, I'm a big rap head. I love rap music. Chuck D, a Public Enemy, put it like this. He said, so many of us is in limbo. He said, how to get it on? It's quite simple. 3 stones from the sun. We need a piece of this rock. Our goal, indestructible soul. Answer to this quizzing. To the brothers in the street, school and not prison. History shouldn't be a mystery. Our story is real history, not his story. We're going to work it out one day till we all get paid the right way, in full, no bull, talking, no walking, driving, arriving in style, and soon you'll see what I'm talking about, because one day brothers and sisters are going to work it out. Do you believe that one day brothers and sisters are going to work it out? Jesus demonstrated delayed gratification when he resisted the devil's temptation in the wilderness. Jesus taught us the value of giving up temporary happiness for eternal rewards. Galatians 5 and 16 and 26 says, walk by the Spirit and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. The best definition of mission is to take on any important task or duty that is assigned, allotted, or self-imposed. Delayed gratification, generational wealth is going to include long-term financial planning, saving for retirement, investing for growth, paying off debts. And by resisting the urge to spend, each of us can allocate more resources to investments, which can grow over time and accumulate generational wealth. Mission Possible 2. We're going to be a culture and a people who lives to maximize returns. Somebody say, maximize returns. In 2022, the median value of total stockholders among Caucasians was 67,800. Hispanics, 24,500. Black families, 16,500. It's driven by the fact that many white families on average have more investment capital, which is passed down through generations. Capital gains from selling stocks, which is a key driver of wealth accumulation, has disproportionately benefited other people and not our people. But we are saying no more. And we are taking an offensive approach. We're going to be aggressive in our strategy. We're going to focus on investing in assets that have the potential for high returns. Even if they come with a higher degree of risk, we're going to say, I'd rather try and die than die never trying. Stop telling your children to simply get a great job and they'll have a better life. A great job is for the average life. You'll never get rich from a good paying job. Your job wasn't created to help you get rich. It was created from the mind of a wealth builder for their own wealth. We need 2 generations of families that will allow all kids who finish a trade school, graduate college, or is simply a hardworking kid to stay home until they have saved enough to buy a home or get married. Did y'all hear what I just said? Don't kick them out. Don't say go get your apartment. In order for us to catch up and be the great nation that God has called us, we need to bring our children back home when they graduate from college. We need to sit them down, set a goal so that they can buy their first home or marry out of the house, because this individual crap that we're doing in the black culture is destroying our wealth. Number 2, Black America will say no to owning any new cars unless we personally have at least 10 times in retirement or investment the cost of the car. So if the car costs $40,000, you need to have $400,000 in retirement, investment, or your total wealth before you buy that car. So that means, for all of you who don't seem to always get it, if you got $3,000 in total value, martyr is smarter. See, y'all don't want to talk about that. There's a place where you're never going to get better, and you only get better towards the level of sacrifice you're willing to make. And our people got to understand that some things that are great come with great sacrifice. The number one thing you got to sacrifice is your ego. You got to sacrifice your ego and worry about what people are going to say, what you're driving and what you're riding in, because you got a plan, you got a goal, you got a destiny that God has called for your life. Number 3, children will work with the parents to pay off the parents' home, which will be a part of the children's wealth in the future, and this will allow the parents to have a stress-free retirement. This will allow for the 3rd generation to eventually own multiple debt free home. I'm saying to you that it's time for the generation to say, Mom and Daddy, y'all stop paying on the house. This is going to be the house that I'm going to inherit. So I'm going to start paying it so that you and Daddy, or if it's just Mama, can have a stress-free retirement, so you can travel before you leave this earth, so you can experience the goodness of God and all He's done in this world. And I'm telling you, you can do it if you want to. And we got to create a legacy investment account that the whole family contribute to. We got to create a legacy investment account that the whole family contribute to. You got 4 children, and that's 5 contributors in the legacy investment for the next generation. Unfortunately, we're too behind to say, well, we got to pull us something out of it. No, we're doing this because we want to be a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is our reasonable service. And if we don't get the holiness in the heart of us and do right by God and right by people, we're going to have generation after generation of poverty. Yeah, and I'm not hating on this Target issue. I'm not against the I'm not against the march. I don't want anyone to think I'm against the march. I'm not against the march. I'm not against the march. I'm not against. Okay, I want to make sure now, because when I say that, I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, he against the march." I'm not against the march. I'm not against the march. Remind me of that song, say, I'm not in love. The whole time he's talking about how much he loves it. I'm not in love, but don't forget our little silly game. I'm not in love. Like that. Okay. I'm not against the march. But this Target issue needs a broader perspective for Black America. Okay, let me help you with that. You have to understand that some issues in this country, you don't have to march the issue to right. You can invest it to right. Okay, I'm going to help you. Now, if you, as Black America, was the largest shareholder in Target, could they really end diversity? Because if they ended diversity, guess what they would also end? Your investment. And the companies are beholden to their largest investors. Okay? Who are the largest investors in Target that you think you're going against Target? But you need to understand something. See, I'm just a numbers financial guy. I wake up every morning 3:34 and I dig in the scene like the gangster lean. And so I'm just telling you about me. When it comes to this money, I'm in there. I'm trying to tell you, gangster, white wall, TV antenna in the back. You may have a great big Cadillac, sunroof top, digging in the scene with the gangster lean. Woo, woo, woo. Vanguard Group holds 45 million shares of Target stock. State Street Corporation holds 36 million shares. BlackRock holds 33 million. Capital World Investor holds 22 million. FMR LLC holds 12 million. Geo Capital Management holds 10 million. Bank of America holds 10 million. Wells Fargo, 9 million. These are the people who don't have to march for Target to change its agenda. They just make a phone call. Because if they pull their investment from Target, then there will be no Target. What am I trying to tell you? We got to get to a place where we own these places and these companies so that when they make a decision, they got to check with us. We ain't got to come back later and go, well, we going to overcome. We shall over. No, it's time to come over. And we coming over to investing in these organizations so that before they make a decision that's going to affect Black America, they got to call us. They got to see what we think. They got to, come on, anybody ready for America to have to call Black America before she makes her decisions? So I want to challenge your imagination just a little. What if black leaders were teaching you to own corporations rather than simply march against them? I think what would happen is we would be in a more powerful position, because then we wouldn't have to march. We would give Target its marching orders. As a people, we've been owned before. Now it's time for us to own some equity in this country. Now it's time for us to be the largest equity owners in this country. And can you imagine what would happen if 75, 80%, 90% of all black Americans owned equity in this company, and we got together and decided which companies we want to own stock in, so that when we want something to change, it's got to change. Come on now. When we want them to make a switch, they got to switch. When we want them to do something, they got to do it. Why? Because we are your largest equity owner, and you do what we say now. So we got to take, Black America, we got to take an offensive, high-risk strategy, even though that's more for a longer time horizon. We need every family to start out with a small investment portfolio, no matter how little you have. And that will ensure each generation after you will have a part of what we call the American dream. These are aggressive investment strategies. Normally, you wouldn't start out this aggressive. But when you're behind, you got to do what people who are behind does. Huh? If you were running a race and you were third place and you wanted to win, well, you got to exert what? A little more energy, right? You can't have the same energy that the runner in first place has, because they look like they are about to win. I'm trying to tell you, Black America, we got to do something different to get a different result. And where we're at, we've got to get on the offense, and we've got to become more aggressive in our money strategy. So what are we seeking? What is Black America seeking in this strategy? We're seeking capital appreciation. We want great schools, low crime, clean communities, which in turn will increase the value of our number one assets, our homes. We want long-term generational growth, investing in the best American businesses and becoming the largest stakeholder in these companies so that we have influence and power for change. Set up a family meeting and let's do our research. Maybe go to Fidelity.com, Charles Schwab, Robinhood, or whatever investment company you believe is best for you. Open every child you know a minor investment account and put the best amount you can in it. And you know what's even more amazing about it? You can seek investment support by calling their own 800 number. You can get it for free. A lot of people don't know the trick. You open an account on their site. Now you are eligible to call their 800 number for free and get advice. I just gave you a nugget, didn't I? See? You say, hey, I just opened up an account for my son, my daughter, my niece. And can you look at that for me? Sure. And I was just wondering, what would you think? Thank you. See, they're licensed, so they can give you that advice. We're seeking diversification. While we're focused on offense, we're going to diversify our investment to mitigate the risk and ensure that we're not overly reliant on any single asset or market. So that's why we need home ownership to be number one. Now, I'm going to tell you something that black people struggle to do, but I'm going to help you. We struggle to work together and live together. You know what I mean? I don't just mean community, I mean in the same house. Some of you all, if you didn't know God, the people you live with would be dead right now. You've been unkilled because, you know, black people have a problem living together. Come on now. We got a problem living together. So I'm going to tell you something that you haven't been told. I know you haven't been told. About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, people were saying home ownership was unaffordable. How many of you have been saying home ownership is unaffordable? I just want to see your hand like it's just not possible. How many of you know that that's a sin to say if you're a child of God? Let me tell you why. The strategy, and I told this to Elder JP because Elder JP just have enough common sense to call me and get all this knowledge and wisdom. And I ain't going to tell y'all her business because I'm going to hold a ransom. She's going to have to give me something not to tell y'all her business. So I'm holding a ransom, Elder Care. Pastor Care, I'm holding that. If you don't come through, I'm going to let them know. But do you know what they've been saying? The strategy for wealth is families joining together to buy homes until the economy clears up. Then you take that equity and y'all buy the other family home. You refinance, y'all buy the other family their home, and y'all just divide the equity and everybody eventually. But you know what our problem is? We're too selfish. Yet you can't imagine sacrificing for the good of your family. And so your idea is, I'll stay in this rental situation or I'll stay in this apartment because at least I got my peace because I need my peace. I can't deal with it. See, but the problem is what you call peace is really hell in disguise, because when you turn 60 and 70 years old and you don't even have $500 in an account somewhere talking about you got peace, baby, you ain't got peace. You got a piece of life. God came that you might have life, and life what? More abundantly. Am I helping anybody? We're seeking building wealth. And I believe a strong offensive strategy can help Black America build wealth faster by maximizing our returns, reinvesting our gains from generation to generation. So we're talking about taking a proactive approach. Instead of waiting for the America we know to bring us opportunity, Black America is stated today we are on the offense. We are marching down the field. We are running through the defense. We are passing. We are running. We're doing whatever it takes because we recognize now we got to score. So we're not waiting on America anymore to give us anything. Today, Black America is declaring we're on the offense and we are seeking out. And we are pursuing wealth. We're not waiting for it to come to us. We are seeking out and we are pursuing wealth. So I said, Tony, imagine what a Black America financial mission statement might look like. And listen, I'm not the spokesman for Black American. I just slept at a Holiday Inn. I'll wait. Okay. This is what I imagine a financial mission statement smiler would be for Black America. Our mission is to empower Black individuals, families, and businesses with the knowledge, resources, and opportunities to achieve financial independence, wealth, and economic sustainability. We are committed to financial education, providing accessible financial literacy programs that equip our community with the tools to build generational wealth, economic empowerment, supporting Black-owned businesses, entrepreneurs, and innovators through funding, mentorship, and strategic partnership, wealth equity, advocating for policies and practices that close the racial wealth gap and create fair financial opportunities for all, investment and ownership, encouraging home ownership, stock market participation, and business development as a pathway to lasting prosperity. By fostering a culture of financial growth, unity, and empowerment, we, Black America, strive to transform economic futures and uplift Black communities nationwide. Together we build, together we sustain, and together we thrive. Together we build. Somebody say, together we build. Together we sustain. And together we thrive. Wealth is not just about money. It's about freedom. It's about impact. It's about purpose. It's about legacy. We build our wealth with wisdom, integrity, generosity, knowing that financial success is a tool to create opportunities for our people, bless others, leave a lasting legacy. So how do we do that? We stay disciplined. We invest in our future. And we trust that every smart decision we as Black America make today brings each generation closer to financial freedom. I'm coming to a close. There's a Black American wealth shift, mental wealth shift I want to give you. So today as a people, we're going to shift our thinking, okay? Y'all say okay? You okay with that? All right, here we go. No longer will we allow anyone around us in our homes, on the job, to ever again say, I don't earn enough. Never again. Black America, we will never, don't think I don't understand pay disparity. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, as a people, we can advocate for it. That's not what I'm talking about. But we will never say, I don't earn enough. Saying I don't earn enough versus I don't know enough can have a huge impact on our mindset, on the opportunities before us, and the overall success. And here's why. The danger of saying I don't earn enough brings you to a victim mentality. It places the focus on external circumstances rather than your inner strength and who God called you to be. It limits your growth. It suggests that financial success is out of your control rather than something you can do or work hard towards. It brings missed opportunities. Instead of seeking new skills or seeking knowledge, it leads to frustration and stagnation because all you say is, I don't have enough to do. Money is a result, not the cause. Earnings are a byproduct of skills, values, and opportunities. If you focus only on earnings, you may overlook what truly drives financial success, which are your skills, your value, and opportunities. Now, here's the power of saying, I don't know enough. It's a growth mindset. Acknowledging that lack of knowledge leads to curiosity. It leads to you wanting to learn more and self-empowerment and improvement. It leads to increased earning potential. See, when you realize you don't know enough, you say, I need to learn a new skill. I need to start networking. I need to start gaining expertise naturally that will lead me to a higher income. It leads to empowerment. It shifts the responsibility to you, making you an active participant in your own success. It attracts opportunities. When you seek knowledge and skills, you tend to be in an environment that will answer your questions, that will lead to wealth and progress. And so the key takeaway is this. Saying I don't earn enough focuses on the problem. Saying I don't know enough focuses on the solution. The first limit is you. The first limit to your wealth is you. Your mindset, the disdain for small things. And so you think if you have a little, it can never multiply to a lot. And so you waste the little because you don't understand that greatness came from the small things. So the more you learn, the more you earn. Y'all didn't catch that, did you? The more you learn, the more you earn. And so here's what we all have to admit to. It's not that I don't earn enough. I don't know enough. I don't do enough. I don't care enough. I'm not passionate enough. I don't research enough. I don't hang around the right people enough. See, you are the answer. Black America, it's not the government who is the answer. It's not a higher paying job that's the answer. You know how many people who are six-figure poor? And I've said this before, not to be mean-spirited, but to bless you. There's no way two people living in the house, both earning an income, should ever know poverty. It is a sign that the devil is leading that home. Selfishness is leading that home. Somebody is hiding their finances. Somebody is doing illicit things with their money that they don't want anyone to know. They're not being truthful and honest. And they're robbing not only the people that's with them now of their wealth, but they're robbing generations of their wealth. In Black America, I believe God sent me here to tell you today that we need a financial wealth mission statement. And we need to stand on that statement. And we need to shun everyone around us who don't stand on it. And we need to shun videos that are materialistic, music that glorify money and just the waste of wealth. Because when we stand together, there's nothing that can stop us. There's nothing that can prevent us from being who we really are. The greatest people in the earth that God has ever created. Nobody's smarter. Nobody's wiser. Nobody's better looking. Nobody's more skilled. Nobody's more learned. Nobody can dance. Y'all be surprised how many coaches hate how well you can dance. They pick at it, but actually there's jealousy. They pick at it and make it stereotypical, but really there's jealousy. It's time for Black America to stand together to create this financial wealth mission statement, to hold herself accountable. It's time to hold your children accountable. Stop turning a blind eye. It's time to hold your spouse accountable. Stop turning a blind eye. Stop sending that child $40 every time they call you. That's $40 that could be on a stock. Do you all know? I don't like to tell too much of my business, but the other day I was purchasing a stock that costs less. It's a stock that I'm figuring about 2 years will be worth $200. It costs less than a pair of tennis shoes. The stock cost me less. And in about a year or two, I'm sure it'll be worth about $200 a share. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. I wasn't saying that for you to call me. You better call Tyrone. Call it. You better call Tyrone. And tell him to come get your stuff. My point is, it's mission possible. Did y'all know that's the series this month? It's mission possible. I'm telling you, Black America, the mission is possible. Somebody give God a hand clap of praise. Absolutely. So right here, I want to take any questions that anyone might have. Even if you're online, you place it online. Elder Jeanette Pollock will look at it, or someone will, and we'll answer those questions. But we want to take this moment and just any way I can help you today. Yeah. Don't be ashamed, whatever your question is. Okay. You got one over there.
When you're in your golden years and you've already retired, when you were planning out your retirement, it looked real good, but now it look a little shaky. Where do you start there?
Well,
at 65 years old?
Well, first of all, what's golden? Give her that mic.
When you give those people those keys and say,
oh, okay, because I didn't know what golden years mean. Because I feel like I'm in my golden years now, so I'm like, what does that say for me? Okay, she has a different definition of golden. Okay, Black people tend to do that. Well, number one, it all starts with not just the awareness, because clearly you're aware, but the willingness to seek knowledge and change. That's where it starts. So being aware of a problem, but being unwilling to seek knowledge to change it, just leaves you aware. What are we going to do with that? So I'm not saying you, but I would say to someone who is in the position you just stated, I would ask them, and I'll ask you, have you personally sought out knowledge? Give her the mic. Have you personally sought out knowledge to change your position?
Somewhat. I haven't followed up.
Okay. Sugar, the answer would be no. We don't have time to play games. Just say no. Come on, say no.
No.
Thank you. All right. And so if you don't do that, can there be any change? Come on, y'all talk back to me. If you don't seek the knowledge, can there be any change? Right. So we've got to seek the knowledge. Thank you, Barbara, for allowing me to mess with you. We got to seek the knowledge because sometimes there are answers we don't even know about. Anybody ever thought something wasn't possible, you couldn't do something, or whatever it might be, and then you talk to someone and they explained it so simple, you go, oh, I didn't know that. Well, it was because we didn't seek the knowledge. So seek the knowledge and follow up, okay? Don't just, right, you got to act. So follow up, okay? All right. Anybody else, any questions? Okay.
Hello? Oh. Okay. So I'm in college. You know this.
Who is that?
It's me, Zoe. Hey.
Hey, baby, the lights, they blinded me with science. Okay.
Okay. So as a college student, freshman, how would you start investing?
I would call my Uncle Tony.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Is that not a good answer? Yeah, that's very good. Like, how would you deal with an aching tooth?
So, Pastor, let me follow up. Given Zoe, she could call Uncle Tony, but for those other college students out there that don't have Uncle Tony, where do they
no
begin?
problem. I'll find you an Uncle Tony. Because I'm not going to send you out there on a rabbit trail because dealing with money is not that simple. And if I send you out there on a rabbit trail and start giving you all these sites, but find someone that you know and you respect that's dealing right with money, or it appears, and they will help you and lead you. I'm not even going to say Google it because I found something out. A lot of times when you Google things, it's such a broad, and it don't fit necessarily what you're dealing with. So find someone you can trust. And I will tell you this if you're a young person. If you have 0 people, I promise you, I'm not just telling you they'll do this. You can call Charles Schwab, Fidelity, all those places. I promise you, they will help you. A lot of people don't know that. I'm not just saying that. Call them. They will help you. They'll help you set up the account and everything. Yes.
Another question.
Okay.
So if someone has, they don't have an emergency fund, they have maybe $10,000 in credit card, they are not strong with their investments, but they may be contributing to a 401. What is their first step to moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, I can't say in general what they should do, but if you just ask me, like just listening to that scenario, I would say, let's first start working on paying off the debt. Let's see if and then now that's based on what the interest rate is for the debt. I mean, if the interest rate on the debt is 0%, and then you can still take some money and invest, that's different. But if the interest on the money is 13, 14, 15, 20, which they are these days, percent, we want to first start knocking down that debt and then start working on that emergency fund and then start working on. Now, I'm going to say this to you, though. That's a cookie cutter answer. I'll be honest with you. Some people are in such a situation, they don't need to worry about the emergency fund. They need to just start investing immediately because of where they're at. Maybe a certain age where, okay, we just got to start doing this. We got to be aggressive. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes the situation calls for an aggressive approach. Hold on.
If you had to give like an estimate number of debt that you would be in to where you shouldn't like focus on paying off your debt, but just start investing, what would that be?
Say that again.
So like if you have debt to pay off, and first you said you should pay off the debt and then worry about investing, and then you just said, well, some people so far in debt, they should just start investing, take that aggressive
Yeah, I
approach.
usually say that for people who are a little older.
No, I'm just saying, like, what amount of debt will require you feel would require you to just take that aggressive approach?
Yeah, no, it's not amount of debt, it's age.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like if you're young, let's say you were 25, 30, you got time to pay that debt off and you got time. But if you were 55 and you just had zero and you had that debt, we need to get you some cushion investment so that these next 10, 15 years you can start seeing positive change. And then we can start paying that debt off. Because just how late it is for you in your season of investment. Does that make sense? But it's going to be different for everyone. So when you sit down with different people, but that's my approach because I've noticed when people, even though they may have a little debt here, when they can see the possibility that they're going to have something for the future, it just encourages them to do more and want to do more.
Question. What, and I know can vary, but what's a realistic retirement amount people should be stretching for?
Yeah, so it definitely, it definitely would depend on your well, number one, it would depend on your age. Thank you, whoever said that. But number two, if you want to do a general answer, it would depend on your comfort level and your living desire. Like, how do you want to live in retirement? Now, I'm not going to judge anyone's level of desire because that wouldn't be fair. But it does matter. Because if you say, well, I really just don't, as long as I can, maybe somebody says, as long as I can pay my bills and no credit is calling me, and every now and then I can drive to Savannah for the beach. I mean, that's a choice. Now, you and I might go, that ain't a lot. But one thing I realized, each individual has their own mindset, and I can't. But let's say you really want to be able to travel, to go to a different state. Every now and then to eat a dinner that costs $150 a plate. Like, I want that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, like, I don't want all my food to be finger food. I'm just telling you about me. I'm not being, you know what I mean, Rose? Like, I want to be able to sit down and have to use a fork and a knife to cut my chicken, but that may not be. So for me, the number might be different. And that's how you really have to approach it. But if you do a number, let's say you had a career where your average salary for 30 years was $50,000 or $60,000. Well, you really want at the end of that to at least have 10 times that.
Hold up.
We must also think about that's not what we might be bringing home.
Right.
We got to think about what we're bringing home,
Good
not
point.
what we make,
Good point.
but what we bring home.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah.
far as what we need to invest
That's
and
right.
how much time we got to
That's
invest.
right.
So my mind is thinking about that right now
Yeah.
as I'm talking
Yeah,
to you.
I agree. You got to think about how much you actually
Bring home.
bring home. And that's one of the good things about investment. It delays how much you're taxed. You know that? So you really want to start investing, especially in a 401k, because it delays how much you're taxed. Some people don't understand that. They think they're winning by not having the 401k money come out. Actually, you're losing because you're investing most of the taxes that you would pay. But guess what? You're earning money off of their money. And then you say, I'll give it back to you later, but I earned money off of your money. That's why they charge you taxes later on, because they know you earned money off of their money. You got to start thinking strategically like that. Go ahead, Rose.
One thing I want to say is I wish I'd have heard this 40 years ago,
Yes.
And I'm so glad that you're able now to speak to a younger crowd
Yes, ma'am.
because I don't have the same chances
Right.
that they have now.
Right.
And I appreciate hearing it because they didn't say this to the black children
No, they didn't.
in my generation, you know. So we missed out on a lot,
Yes.
you know, and we, as far as finances, can't do as well as they can now,
Amen.
you know. I'm 74 years old. Am I 74 yet?
73.
I'm 73 years old.
You look great, Rose.
Thank you. Thank you. And I tried with my 4 girls to teach them finance,
Yes.
you know, because I knew at one point they were going to have to take care of themselves.
Yes.
So we sit down at the table. They said, Mama, why we can't buy this? So we spread the money out to show them where the money go,
Yes.
you know. And we had just a certain amount left over, you know. So this is a learning for me.
Thank you.
But I think I did well on them, at least some of them. Okay. Love you, girl.
Rose, you know, the thing about it, Rose is right. You know, because I have to tell you the real truth is that these things have been around for a long time. These ideas, thoughts. And one of the things is that I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm not bitter. I'm not mad. Just hear me out. I've been doing this since our church doors opened. But I can tell you something about our culture that you got to hear me. I'm not upset. It doesn't attract the same way if you preach another way. And so the sad part often about our culture is the place we need to be and the people we need to hear often aren't attractive enough for us. So we'll be somewhere else on an emotional high, as Rose says. We'll be on an emotional high, but still walking beneath where God called us to be. Because at least it's a big building. At least he or she is well known. At least they're driving, you know. So that's a culture issue. And I'm just telling you, and I think one Sunday everybody in this church admitted, we can't say our pastor didn't try to help us become wealthy. Didn't we agree one Sunday? We talked about it. There's nobody I denied access to me. I would have opened the account. I mean, I'm going to say if you're listening to this, you got to get a little more selfish about where you, well, not just that, the people you're allowed to have influence in your life. Like, you got to get a little more selfish and say, now, Rose said this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rose talked about being somewhere at a church for 20 years, and then she said, and she came and heard a different word, and she went, what? Nobody never told me that, like that. Yeah, and she's never left since because she recognized that it may not be 1,000 people, but it helps her 1,000 times over. And that's really all that matters. The number of people. Listen, most days in my life, I talk to 1 or 2 people. Most Saturdays, I'm by myself. Do you know I found something out? You can actually be rich riding in the car by yourself. Next question. Any
I
other
do
questions?
have a question.
Sure.
So, during your sermon, you had spoken about it's more of a statement and reiteration for the younger groups, but you had spoke about families and groups of us not wanting to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to reiterate to the young audience, some of the college students here, and the people online, the consequences of not of focusing on a party mentality or a microwave attitude instead of making the investments now when you're 20 and not making the and instead waiting to make those investments. Okay, I'm 40 and 50, I'm gonna make those investments now. So that's a two-part. Us
I
not
got
wanting
you.
to work together and the consequences of not using your 20s to make those investments.
Yeah, number one, the greatest indicator of wealth is not the amount of money you invest, it's the amount of time you have. So it's not the amount of money you invest. So Rose has been gracious enough to tell us her age. So let's say Rose says she wants to retire at 80. She said, I'm just going to retire at 80. I know she's already retired. We're just using that as a scenario. She says, I'm going to retire at 80. And she puts $5,000 a month in her account till she's 80. And that seemed like a lot of money because you say 5,000 times, let's just use 10. $50,000 for 7 years. I think she says she's 73. So, like, what's that number like? What's that? Times 7, what's that number? Yes. 300, okay. And if our baby there, Zoe, puts in $100 a month to that same age, she'll be a millionaire. But Rose put in $5,000 a month to that age, and she got $350,000. The baby put in $100, and she's a millionaire at that age. So time is everything. And that's one of the things that really upset me about so many people, because they keep saying what they're going to do tomorrow or the next day or when I get this. It's like, you got $30 now. What you going to do with that? So the party mentality, I can tell you I had a 10-year dark. I said this from the pulpit before. We got to go. I call it the dark ages. I had 10 years of wealth that I can never get back. It always has bothered me. I think I'm finally starting to get up, but it bothered me. I hung out with my friends. I got out of the military, and I hung out with my friends in Bankhead for almost 10 years. It might have been like 7 or 8, but 10 years in my brain. And I did the math of what that return would have been if I was properly focused and investing, and it was just overwhelming. And I call that the dark ages in my life. I want to say something to you in 11 way. You can't be 40, 50 with dark ages. It don't hit the same. Anybody know what Pastor's talking about? Like, it don't. I was in my 20s, that's one thing. You can't be 40, 50, 60 with 10-year dark ages. It's time to change. Any other questions before we close out? Okay. Amen. Well, let's give God a hand clap of praise just for this. Yes. Go right ahead.
When you don't have any credit card debt or any debt looming over
Right.
you, how do you figure out the amount that you should put in investment? Like, I have an RRA account, and I got that through knowing you and knowing some of Elder JP and some other financial advisors. And now that I am 55, I don't have enough saved. I don't have enough put away for retirement. And I know we spoke about that before. And I want to do what you said, be on not fast motion, but I know
Aggressive.
aggressive
Yes.
with the savings. How do I figure out how much as far as what I'm making,
Sure.
what to put away?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to, when you sit down with, of course, I know you know Chris, who I love. So let's say you sit down with Chris. First of all, we have to ask you, okay, what age do you want to say, I don't want to work anymore? So if you're 55 and you say 65, we say, okay, we're not hating on that. That's okay. Now we got to figure out and do the math. What number do you want to? So like in your mind, do you have a number that you would like to get to by the time you're 65?
Like 100,000 at least.
You want at least 100?
Oh, sorry,
Okay,
150,000.
okay.
Like that.
And so then what we would do is we would look at if being aggressive is the answer, or maybe because of your number, we might say, well, you don't have to be as aggressive. And so that's how we would determine that, the amount. And the amount will let us know if we, then of course we've got these tools and we would put it in there and it would tell us what does it take for you to get to that number in 10 years if the returns are at least this number. And that's how we would do that. So it's something that's easily done, and I advise everyone to take that approach and sit down with someone to do that. No, not me. Not me. Not me. Any other questions? Amen. Anything else, Elder JP, before? Okay, amen. Well, if you're at home and you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, we want you to find him. We want you to know him. So just say, Lord, I know you came down to the earth. You lived amongst men. You died on the cross. You were buried in the grave, and you rose in 3 days with all power in your hand. You just accepted him if you believe that. If you're looking for a ministry to be a part of, this is a great ministry for you to be a part of. I promise you, you're going to grow. If you're looking for somewhere to give, this is a great ministry to give. We appreciate every donation that you give so that this great ministry might stay around. So on behalf of myself, Pastor Alicia Cash, our lead elder, Elder Jeanette Pollock, we say thank you so much for joining today's broadcast. God bless you and your family. Make it an amazing Sunday. Goodbye.